For the past year, I've been making my videos with this telescope tripod. But it's really difficult to adjust the height on this tripod. So in my last video, I made a new tripod. But this was only the beginning. So in this video, I'm going to make an extension arm and an iPhone mount. Now that not only allows for some interesting shots like this one, which could not be done before, and this one, which I couldn't do before, but more importantly, it allows me to adjust the height very easily. So we'll get started by making this U-shaped piece that holds the arms. To mount this to the tripod, I'm using a big fender washer as the bearing surface. And here I'm not using a lock nut, but I had to replace it with a lock nut later. Now getting started on the arms. Here I cut a piece for both arms, and now I'm cutting a 1/4 wide by 1/8 inch deep dado. And I'm doing that on both ends. The arms are tapered, so here I'm cutting that taper on the bandsaw. This is again a 1/4 inch wide, 1/8 inch deep dado. Now gluing those down to the arms. This will give me a 1/4 inch hole. And by doing it this way, the holes are perpendicular to the arms and parallel to each other, and the holes in both arms are the same distance apart. And this is just cleaning out the glue squeeze out in the hole. Here I'm making the block that will hold the threaded rod that will hold the counterweight. Now the arms can get mounted to that U-shaped piece on top of the tripod. This piece of 1/2 inch threaded rod will hold the counterweight. These L-shaped pieces will form the bracket that holds the camera mount on the opposite end of the extension arm. Now here I drilled this out to put some rollerblade bearings in for the panning action, but that turned out to not work very well. So I modified the plans to just to use a bolt. And that's the parallelogram done and working. So now we can move on to the iPhone mount. Here I'm just creating a channel exactly the depth and width of an iPhone. And here I'm cutting that 1/4 inch plywood out to the width of the display. For this little piece, I didn't have bolts long enough to go through a piece of wood, but the drawings do show it in wood, and wood will work fine if you have longer bolts. Now that the phone is mounted, we just need to add the appropriate amount of counterweight. I'm just using some scrap metal painted gray for that.